Live?
We're live!
Live.
Live here at RGV HQ, Card Authority Special Edition. James is on his phone as per usual. He will join it. There he is. This is pretty much the live scene we see, everyone. Thank you everyone for joining us for a special Card Authority live stream. Obviously we've all just been notified about the delay for 2023 Select AFL GEM Football. Look, we are obviously, disappointed is probably the same word as everyone else is using.
Very disappointed. I think everyone's probably got the right to be pretty disappointed, and unfortunately these things happen. I suppose the one thing that sort of cushions the blow a little bit is collectors, and especially those within like the Facebook community and stuff, have become accustomed to understanding how Select's logistic system sort of works, and the fact that no one got any notifications or tracking numbers in the last sort of 24 hours.
Everyone was sort of
where you would normally get it.
And we talked about it as well. We thought it might be happening this morning.
I think there was probably an expectation that either people were getting tracking numbers or they were getting a delay email or message on Facebook or whatever it is. And for those living under a rock, and if you haven't seen yet, Select has just sent out an email. I believe it's probably gone to all customers. And
I would say so,
or it might stagger or whatever, that GEM unfortunately has been delayed again to, I think was it
early next week.
Based on logistics issues and transit issues. They didn't say that it's 100% not coming till next week, but they said that it'll likely be next week, with a chance that it's still coming this week, obviously.
And I guess, look, just to put things into context, we certainly...
Speak up, says Steve.
Speak up, no worries. Look, to put things in context too, certainly in a post-COVID era, there are global logistics delays. And look, we will certainly touch base with Select later on today to try to get a little bit more information about what's going on. But unfortunately, these things just happen. And when you're dealing with boats and customs and logistics and things like that, there can be delays. We are certainly very sympathetic, and understanding as collectors and breakers, and as I'm sure the community's feeling as well. But I guess the thing probably just to keep, everyone to remind themselves is that it is coming. It'll be here in a few days. But I mean, we want to rip it as well.
Yeah, and we're not here to whitewash this.
No, it's frustrating.
We're frustrated. I'm probably a bit more frustrated than AJ is because he's a bit more measured than I am. But I'm certainly frustrated. I'm frustrated as a collector. I'm frustrated because I want to be opening the product. I want to be getting the singles and everything. But certainly, as being people who are in the business of trading cards, we're very frustrated as well. There's people who've obviously, there's commentary going around. We all know we all paid in advance for the product. We'd like to receive it by a certain date. For us, it's even a bit more magnified and worse because we've gone and sold breaks to people who are expecting to have this product in hand by now. And we feel in the same boat as someone like Select, and as should all breakers and anyone who's resold boxes or anything as well. Unfortunately, we're all in that category. We're all in that boat. We have taken money off members of the community. We don't like to be in a position where we've taken people's money for a significant period of time. I'm sure Select probably feels the same way.
Absolutely.
At the same time, the flip side to it is, at least we're being communicated to.
Yeah, agree.
I don't want to speak out of turn here, but if this was an international publisher, a Topps or a Panini or someone like that, I don't think you're not even getting an email or a notification of a delay, because there's either they don't even give you a release date after they take your money, or they basically ignore. Like it arrives to different parts of the world and at all different points in time and stuff like that. It sort of is what it is. But I think as an AFL card community, we've become accustomed to when something gets said, it generally gets delivered upon, and unfortunately in this situation, Select's history of delivering high quality product always on time, now we're seeing the other side of the coin where unfortunately there seems to be some sort of issue and people are frustrated and annoyed by it, and I understand it, and I'm certainly one of those people. But as I've seen in some of the commentary already, it's not the end of the world. It is what it is, and we all just need to make adjustments, whether as a collector or as a breaker or as someone who's selling their box or whatever it may be. We all just need to adjust accordingly, like we made the adjustments a week and a half ago, whenever it was that they made the previous announcement. It's annoying. does it have a detrimental impact on the vibe and the excitement? I think in the short term, right now, it feels like it does.
I'm
But
excited.
I think it's one of those things though. As soon as it ends up in hand and it starts getting crap, everyone gets excited. There's been a noticeable absence of conversation over the last week since the first delay.
It's been a holding pattern.
Yeah, it's been a holding pattern since the delay's taken place. It's annoying. It's frustrating. It's not the end of the world.
But I think the key thing to remember here is, and look, a couple of people have messaged me sort of since the email and to here. There's not some big malicious conspiracy going on here. I mean, we all joke that it's obviously Jenks's fault. I mean, it's always Jenks's fault. But I mean, these things do happen. It's annoying, but I'm sure we're going to have plenty of fun ripping cards next week. I can't wait.
Look, again, I don't know. Hopefully they pull some sort of miracle out. I've just received a tracking number. I've seen...
So the
tracking numbers are starting to go out. So I've
That's
received
positive.
a tracking number. I saw someone else just commented. They've received a tracking number as well.
Okay, good.
Let's see what happens. I liked a bit of the ambiguity in the email, which sort of said it's probably going to be next week, but it could still be this week. I'm setting ourselves up for an expectation it's not coming till next week. If it comes any earlier now, then great.
Fantastic.
It's gonna make me happier.
One thing I do like, and this is something that selectors sent to me previously when we've spoken about possible delays, is they won't part send orders. So they want to be as fair with collectors as possible, that they send the whole lot in one go, and as long as they've got it, they'll send it. They're not going to go and send half the boxes today and half the boxes
Which
tomorrow.
I think would be a terrible indictment on the company if they would do something
that's
like
horrible.
that.
Yeah, it's horrible.
This is not NBA cards where there's tens of thousands of boxes or whatever, and it's going to all parts of the world, and there's an expectation that's different. Footy cards, and especially a really specialised and limited release like this, it should go to everyone. You know, maybe if they did something in the future or whatever where SCC gets it earlier, then that's maybe a decision they make. But yeah, I don't personally support that. I think you want it all coming to market at the same time.
SCC is a priority to buy,
to get it,
not to receive.
Yeah,
and I think that's going to be a very clear distinction.
I agree.
Otherwise, that just opens an absolute red warrant. What are the questions? Is everyone blaming you?
There was only one.
There's a couple of blames. Look, all I'm
There's
going
only
to say
one person
is...
on train.
What's crazy
One person
is
blaming you.
AJ's been on holiday for the last week, gets back yesterday afternoon, and here we are today talking about another delay. So you can look at that two different ways. One, it's going to discount all the conspiracy theories that the reason it was delayed is because Select didn't want to release it whilst AJ was on holiday. But unfortunately now AJ's back, and it's still not ready. So, it's a bit bittersweet for you, right?
You know this is your fault.
It's a bittersweet.
This is your fault.
Oh yeah.
So there were some comments asking why. Do you think they didn't have the product in hand from the moment they released it, because we never got the initial in hand? Like, you know, Lynn was not there to open a box live for us. It was all digital.
I think there's two parts. They only use Lynn for specific results, and you know, both Minx, you and I both know Lynn personally. Yep. She's tied up with a real job over in Vegas at the moment. So I think it's purely a logistics issue of why they didn't use Lynn for this release. We all know that Select is manufactured in China, and there is weeks of process of putting it in containers, shipping it across, going through customs, all that kind of stuff. So I imagine there was and I'm absolutely speculating here, there was every good intention for it to be shipped on the day that it was meant to get shipped. But, you know, I know a friend who's a builder, you can expect a boat coming directly from China to Australia and suddenly it goes to America.
Yeah, or a plane, or whatever it is.
Yeah,
but
it happens.
Look, the other thing as well, who knows? There might have been a quality control aspect to this. It's really hard to say. I'm conscious that from our knowledge of previous releases, Select does their quality control domestically, not internationally. So they'll never send out a product before they've broken down a product to make sure everything's right. And that could be anything from the finishing of the cards and the physical nature of cards, through to collation, sequencing, the packing, making sure, you know, everything gets done at a different location. So the place that makes the cards isn't necessarily the place that makes the boxes, and the place that shrink wraps, it's an entire third party altogether as well. So I think there's so many elements to it.
Well, you own the company, tell us.
Again, it's disappointing that it would get to this point to begin with.
Yeah.
But it's not unreasonable to expect that these are the types of things that happened, and it's certainly not isolated to trading cards. I saw someone posted actually a comment before just saying like they seem to be seeing logistical issues all over the place with a variety of different companies and products. Yep. So maybe even we're overthinking this, and maybe there's been an issue with the domestic carriers or something like that. It could be an Oz Post, it could be a Star Trek issue. I don't really know. All I know is that their track record is really good for this sort of stuff. It's
credits in the bank.
It's very unusual that they have a delay. It's extremely unusual to have a second delay. It's probably unheard of for Select as a company. I can't recall anything in recent times where there's been a double delay on something. All I can think to myself is there's got to be a good reason behind it, and their intent it has always been to deliver the best quality product to people in a fair and equitable way.
Yep.
And I would say that they're doing the same. And again, if you're only just tuning in, is it frustrating? Yes. Is it frustrating as a collector? Yes. Is it frustrating as someone in the business of cards as a breaker? Yes. Is it the most frustrating for those people who went into pre-sale breaks 3 or 4 weeks ago who haven't yet been able to see the product opened up?
Or bought boxes.
They're probably, you know, those people, which includes us going in other people's breaks, that's probably the most aggravating part of the whole thing. It is what it is.
Yeah, and I guess one thing that we've got to make sure that we're very clear, we're not sitting here trying to say that Select is the best and they're innocent or whatever. That's not our job here. I guess we, you know, just want to point out that everyone is frustrated, but it will come. It will be here next week, maybe sooner, and we will all get the same joy and excitement out of ripping through a new product.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't matter if it's this week or next week.
Yeah.
And we just want to make sure that everyone obviously is looking after themselves and not losing, you know, their mind over the fact that there's a delay.
With that said, we can understand people's frustration,
absolutely,
and people have every right to vent their frustration. And again, whether that's towards Select or it's within the community pages like Good Vibes or whatever it is, or to me personally, and whatever it is, that's fine. Like,
should they all call you?
They should, but they should all mix actually. But I think everyone in this specific situation has a right to be frustrated. But we also all need to be a bit realistic about it. We can be frustrated, but there's nothing that we can in fact do.
No.
And again, if this was a recurring theme from release to release, well, you would say, okay, there's a systems issue, there's a process issue.
Sure.
Yeah. But the fact that they've generally been so good at their dispatch and so good at their forecasting of when they can deliver product or it gets into the hand of collectors, we're going to give them, you know, they deserve the benefit of the doubt here. This is a one-time problem. Yep. It's become a two-time problem. They communicated it. It hasn't been left open-ended. It wasn't left until the actual day where we were supposed to receive the cards.
Yeah.
People were expecting the dispatch was happening tomorrow. They seem to have got on the front foot the afternoon before to try and, you know, negate a bit of that commentary and everything like that.
Look, the communication...
It is what it is.
The communication's been good. It hasn't been what we've wanted to hear, i.e.
the messages aren't what we want to hear. But the intention is there.
Yeah.
The intention
we
is
all
there.
want it.
Yeah.
We all want it.
So we'll credit with
I see Minx laughing. So what comments are you reading there?
There's just a few. One of the golden ones a little while back was that pirates stole them because they want the gems. So
don't even get Jenks started.
I love that.
If anyone's not aware, look at me. I am the captain now.
Alright, so anyway, Gem is delayed, but don't stress. We will hopefully all be getting stuck into it next week.
More importantly, we're going to talk about AJ's great relationship with one of the modern football players of this generation.
So Trent Cotchin, he is...
a thug. But we're not going to talk about Cotchy.
So last night it came across our desk, and you would have seen the picture on Card Authority and also Good Vibes and a couple of other pages, that it looks like officially Legacy 2023 is going to be our Series 2 release with the Harry Sheasel DPS getting signed. Jenks, you own the business.
Yeah. So
why Legacy?
Okay, so firstly, obviously the photo's pretty blurred and people are going to be like, well, how do you know it's Legacy? You can't read the logo properly.
In the top left corner.
Fortunately for us, we have the original of the photo.
Yeah.
Because AJ was, of course, at Harry Sheasel's house taking the photo.
That's right.
But we have the original where we could zoom in and see on the card. It is, in fact, it says 2023 and it says Legacy. So we've just rolled with Legacy confirmed for 2023. Unless there's a shipping delay, we think it's still coming out in 2023.
Well, the cards are going to go back to China to be packed.
Well, that's the other thing. So obviously a lot of commentary from people around, oh my God, maybe Legacy's going to come before Gem arrives. Legacy could be a week or two away, all that sort of stuff. Unfortunately, guys, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but traditionally over the last 2 years, and with both Optimum releases, there was a multitude of photos of players signing that leaked out, and those leaks were anywhere between 2 months and 4 months before the product came out.
Yep.
They certainly weren't within weeks. We have a pretty good understanding of the process, and the process is that everything for Select, for mainline products or for foil pack products, we'll call it, they do get packed in China. So my understanding is the process, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the product gets printed, the ones that need to come to Australia to be signed or whatever for reinsertion get done in Australia, then they get sent back to China. They go from the printing factory to the packing factory, which is, again, it'd be 2 different manufacturing plants in China. They repack everything, it then goes into boxes, it gets sequenced, goes into boxes, and then it comes all the way back to Australia.
Yep.
And the distribution takes place. So for me, if I was to make a guess here as to when that release is coming out, I can't see how it's got to be, at the absolute earliest would be the end of September, at the earliest.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Series 2 this year is pushing well into October.
Yeah, which is fine.
Yeah. So it's still looking at a couple of months away. So get excited.
Yeah.
But don't get too excited, because it's not coming in a week or two's time, and it's certainly not going to be a week or two after Gem hits the market.
It's going to be a while.
It's going to be a little while, but wowee. Get excited, because Legacy...
Everyone wants Legacy.
And we've polled it. We've polled it on Card Authority before as to what did people think was going to come if they didn't do Optimum again, but more importantly, what did people actually want to see again? And I think the conclusion for the most part is if there was going to be a repeat of a previous series, Legacy is that one. And for those who don't know, Legacy was the first time Select had a full-scale sellout of a release really early, like within 3 or 4 weeks. Certainly 2017 sold out. Minx has just got to answer the doorbell here. Whoever's at the door is going to get a good look in. They can come into the store. Hopefully they can still see us on camera here, the folks. But I'm holding it a bit weird. But
I've got longer arms because you're short.
There you go. But sorry, what was I saying? So
2018 was Legacy.
Yeah, 2018 was hot. It was one of the first full-blown sellout releases with some amazing subsets and some amazing products in it. Whoever it is can come in, mate. It's fine.
Yeah.
I know.
And some really good subsets involved, and people loved it. They especially loved.
Is this just put the gem over there?
Things like
just put the gem over there.
Fame SIGs with the representation of old players, the subsets that carried through from really early releases in Select, and especially from the Hall of Fame release as well. So very exciting stuff. Keen to see what they're doing.
And Legacy was the Adlet Dual Sig.
That's right.
It was the start of next gen. So
there's people in the comments already saying, is there going to be a Dacos triple SIG and all that sort of stuff. So Legacy was the start of the next gens. It would make a lot of sense if there was going to be a next gen SIG again, that it would be.
There's quite a few Maddens.
There is.
Sylvanis.
There is. Dacos is pretty hot. The question is, do they wait a few more years?
Seb Ross. Does Seb Ross have some sort of bloodline?
Yeah, Seb Ross has real great bloodlines, doesn't he?
Yeah.
There's the Rewalt cousins, of course. Yeah.
The successful one, and then
and the other
and
guy.
then the better one.
But yeah, definitely very exciting. Big leak. I'm sure that more signature images will start to leak over the coming days, if not today.
Yeah,
some might come from us, maybe from other people too. Who knows? But there's no doubt about that. Just look out for the Card Authority watermark, and you know it's real. But yeah, I'm excited. But more importantly, it's in my mind. It's not going to be for a while. So as much as I'm frustrated about the gem situation, I just want to get it in hand. I want the cards opened. I want them in the collection. I want them on my shelf.
I want to get ripping.
I want them in my drawers. I want trades. I want it all. I want it all happening. It is what it is. We can't do much about it. At least we're being told. We're not left wondering. Again, if you're only just tuning in, the advice that they've given in the email they've sent out is there's an expectation it's delayed until next week, but they're not discounting the fact that it could still be going out this week.
Tracking numbers coming through.
Which again, to me, indicates it is here. It is in the country. They have it. It's an issue within the logistics, within the freight system itself. It's not an issue of them not having the product. It's an issue within the freight and the logistics and the transit.
I see a question coming through. Jenks, why don't you drive around and deliver everyone their box?
Sure. Believe it or not, our extended team at RGV Brakes has employed 2 drivers a week ago to go and pick up everyone's boxes. The blokes are still sitting in their vans waiting to go collect the boxes.
You're an idiot.
That's the only problem.
Eating donuts.
Yeah.
All right, but look, thank you everyone for joining us. Obviously, we just wanted to touch base because we do sympathise with the frustration that everyone has.
We are as frustrated as anyone else too.
But the sun will rise, cards will appear, boxes will open, and we will all, in a week's time, well,
maybe sooner.
We won't even be thinking about this stuff.
I'm going to check my tracking number as soon as I get off.
Thank you everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe and be kind to each other. Pre-release, it's always fun. Ciao.
Remember, I am the captain now.